So we are moving to the last talk of ISEC 2024, an approach for providing recommendation for requirements non-conformant with requirement templates. I invite Saurabh Tiwari from DA-IICT, Gandhinagar. Over to you.
And I'm Saurabh. Specifically, Shivani is going to present this work, but because of her commitment in the organization, she could not able to travel. Going to talk about is which we develop for providing recommendations for requirements non-conformant with requirement templates. Now the question comes that what is this requirement templates I'm talking about? So requirement templates are basically the structure, or maybe it is actually authoring the requirement list to provide or write the requirements in some predefined format. So it is using some set of restrictions in between that. So typically requirement templates are very widely adopted in the industries in order to model the software requirements, and it also helps the quality of the requirement specifications because it imposes certain set of restrictions. So in the later set of slides I will talk about those kind of things, and several researchers are actually using these RTs for specifying the requirements, are also useful for specifying the legal requirements. So while using the RTs, it is very much important that we should specify the requirements very correctly. Now the problems here comes that if we go for the manual verification of the templates, because now we can see that a lot of SRS are already available, lot of requirement specifications are already available. So specifying all those or checking, manual checking or verification of all those requirements which may follow certain set of template structure. So manual verification is itself very much difficult, right? That is the case. The idea is to actually develop an approach, an automated approach for generating or providing the recommendations. If a particular requirement is not following the template structure, then we are providing the recommendation to follow the template structures. So in that specific case, what we have considered in the literature, we have seen that almost 20 different kind of or 21 different kind of requirement template structures are available. But we have chosen two because on the basis of the similarity between these two templates and the kind of you can say requirement specifications we have considered. So we have developed a tool supported approach, and first specific step of this specific thing is similar to this RETA approach, which is requirement templates analyzer, which has been already available in the existing literature by Chetan, other researchers. So in that specific case, other set of part is that we are recommending the requirements with respect to the RTs for a non-conformant one, preserving the templates. So here you can see the structure of the template, that here we can talk about if we have three set of requirements. So we can see shall, then should, and then will. So shall is specifically for mandatory, should is for recommended, and then will is for future, and then other set of details we can specify. Similarly, if we can go to this different template, that is ERS, that is easy requirements template, right? So here you can see if you have 5 different kind of requirement types, so you can specify all those kind of things here, right? Now I have taken some set of examples, right, which actually shows you that how these requirements are following this template structure. So you can see that the first example, that the software feature shall generate level 0, 1, 2 products from raw data, themes, file, and trigger. So it will follow some you can say RUPS structure, right? Now similarly this also. Now there are certain set of requirements which partially follow the structure. So in that specific case, you can see using the pin v available it shall. So it is actually giving certain set of bad symbols, right? That what is it if you are using certain set of pronoun, some kind of passive and so on. So in that specific thing, you can see some kind of partly specified, and then this last one is actually not following the template structure. So a very so the idea is that if a requirement is non-conformant, then what we can do, that we can actually transform using some natural language processing techniques in order to transform into some either RUPS or ERS template. So now if I can change it, it will be if this SAP database is not populated, then SAP data extraction module shall generate error, right? So you can see these set of requirements can be changed like this. So in that specific case, we have proposed this recommended approach. In this recommended approach, the first set of limitation here is that you have to extract the functional requirements and then only give the functional requirements as an input. So you cannot consider this SRS as an input, because classifying those functional requirements, non-functional requirements and information from the SRS is a different problem, right, which is a requirements classification problem. So here you take these functional requirements and then you have an NLP pipeline. The NLP pipeline gives you or annotate you can say the sentence tags into different set of tags, maybe noun phrase, verb phrase and so on. And then after that we have a JAPE rules, so that is Java Annotation Patterns Engine. So based on certain set of patterns, it is certain set of rules has been applied, and then it will check whether it is template conformant or whether it is template non-conformant. And then on the basis of that, if it is template non-conformant, then it is providing certain set of recommendations on the basis of. So in that specific case, you can see a more elaborated form. So if you have this LP pipeline, so if you have this specific this requirement, then it will classify this as certain kind of text which actually have certain kind of you can say database which talks about these kind of bad emails, and then analyzer, and then you can see finally what we will get from the NLP pipeline, that you have a noun phrase, verb phrase and other set of phrases, because it will actually help us to identify whether it is a model or whether it is the system name, whether it is an object or whether it is some set of functionality you are talking about. So once the annotations has been identified, so these annotations is going to be put into the template format, right? Because in the template format there are certain set of annotations we have to provide, like whether it is a passive voice, whether it is model verbs is available or not, maybe shall, should, will, and then you have the system name, objects, and then the conditions. And then once you identify all those kind of things, so in the left hand side you can see certain set of you can say pattern which has this left side of this JAPE rule pattern will actually specify the rules, and then the left hand side is actually talking about the process. So what kind of decision the system has to take. So in that specific case of decision, if it is template non-conformant, it will say okay, it is conformant. If it is non-conformant, then after that the different set of rules has been applied. So in that specific case, what we have found that these are the 5 possible cases of non-conformance. You can say it may be the conditional details, requirements in passive voice, or missing certain kind of model, missing system name, and then there are certain set of cases which is not being covered here. So I will talk about those kind of things at the latest stage. So in case of recommendation, right, you can see more set of details in the paper, right. So you can see it here, the same set of thing, and then here the rules for generating the recommendation. So it is the recommendation generated through the approach. So the recommendation that has been generated through the approach is like this, right. It is talking about that if you are giving the requirements, it will specify whether it is passive voice, and then it will generate the recommendation. Similarly, it will identify the reasons for the non-conformance, and then after that it will give you certain set of recommendations. So in order to evaluate, right, our approach, what we have done, we have taken 9 different documents, which is 8 documents which are publicly available, and 1 document in order to showcase into the paper only, because we have certain set of restrictions from the funding organization that you cannot reveal those kind of documents into the paper, right. So those are more, but I have just kept into the paper that we have 9 documents. So in that specific case, first we have manually checked, because we need a certain kind of ground truth. So we have manually checked whether it is conformant or non-conformant and what kind of recommendation that has to be provided. And then there are certain set of you can say criteria for actually deciding these 8 studies. And this is the confusion matrix for both, right. And in that specific case, here you can see the results. So table shows accuracy results with respect to that identification of the sentence, whether it is or maybe the requirement, whether it is template conformant or template non-conformant. So here you can see something around 19 false positive cases in the total of 354 template non-conformant requirements. And then one thing which is also there, in few set of cases, the tool is not able to give you the recommendations, right? So in total, we have generated the recommendations for 302 requirements. So there are few set of reasons for the false positive, right? And those set of reasons may be pause tag because the tags that has been identified by the pause tags are not correct. And then there is again the problem with the complex noun identification. Because if there is a complex noun, then the system will not able to process it and then not able to provide the recommendations in that specific case. So if we talk about the accuracy results, something around here you can see, total 302 requirements, the recommendation is there, correct is 239 and incorrect is 18 and few set of requirements which has been missed in this specific case. So something around 83 point something it's come out to be, right? Now, there are some set of recommendations which are partially correct. So I am talking about those 18 recommendations. So suppose the requirement is that the user screen is then updated to display these changes. So in that specific case, the first instance is that model verb is not present. The system will actually give you certain set of idea, okay, you can put these kind of model verbs. Now next set of case, if you again rerun into the same tool, it will able to provide the correct set of recommendations. So what we have done for the 18 partially correct recommendations, we have again rerun and would able to provide the set of recommendations for that. So there are few set of reasons for again the missing recommendations is because the sentence is not actually following any kind of template, right? It is actually very far from the template structure. So it is very difficult for the tool to identify or the approach to figure it out that which specific template it is to be closest. And incorrect is maybe more than one model verb if you have, the system is not able to figure it out. Maybe it has to split and then identify multiple or generate multiple recommendations. Complex noun identification, if you can see maybe related to this, this is related to again the same set of things. So maybe portion of the requirement it is giving the recommendation instead of the whole sentences. So this is again the problem with respect to this. Now you have the analysis, again the same complex noun identification is again a problem, right? So what actually this tool does, right? So this tool is actually the name of the tool is auto record. We have named something like this auto recommendation. So what it does, it takes the PDF or document file as an input as a web interface and then generate the output like this, which actually talks about the requirements which are template conformance and the requirements which are non-conformant, so it is providing you the recommendations, right? So if you are interested, then you can actually go into the detail of requirements engineering 2023 paper, right? So we have a paper in demo and poster demo track, right? So you can go and then have the look out of the tool, and the tool details are actually provided in that paper. And in that paper, you don't get the details about the approach. So if you are much more interested, you can go into the detail of the approach in the paper, right? So now the question, now the conclusion is that you have certain accuracy and so on. Now in the era of, you can say this generative AI and LLMs, right? Why you have not applied directly on that? So the reason that in the first instance not applied is because of the limitations or maybe the unavailability of the data, right? So first important is to generate the data, right? So initially we have certain set of data which can be classified as conformant and which can be classified as non-conformant. So we have certain set of results. We have generated the data, augmented the data, generated more number of data out of it, and then we have applied certain LLMs, right? And then try to figure it out, certain set of recommendations. We have some initial results which are looks like promising, but it has to be worked out and then figure it out more number of details out of it, right? So maybe in future set of editions of different set of conferences, maybe some set of approaches may be there related to this specific work, right? So this work is being funded and supported by ISRO, right? So this is specifically the requirement which is given by the ISRO, so we are working towards that specific set of requirements, right? And thanks for your attention. If you have any questions or suggestions, I am happy to answer. Ground truth, we have created the ground truth, right? It's manually we have gone into the detail of the SRS, classified this is template conform, and then created ground truth. Because ground truth is not available. And that's why in the initial stages we have not applied LLMs, right? So that is. Yes, yes.
There is not much ground truth, right? Do you plan to make it as open source or put it somewhere so that others can also use?
Yeah, this data specifically.
ISRO. Yeah, you can. You can. Fine.
No, but specifically for this 8 publicly available data set and 9, we will definitely do it. And then because we have done the data augmentation, so we have more number of data, so we will make it available, right? Into the GitHub, this tool also, right? Both the set of things. The plan is to make it open source, right?
Yeah,
100%.
You had mentioned something about SRS will not work. I have to start by collecting a set of functional requirements.
Right.
I didn't see anything later in your approach that would work only for functional requirements and not for something on performance or why that requirement was there?
Because these requirement templates are only meant for capturing these functional.
Oh, you mean
that
years and
yes.
they don't work for non-functional?
No. That is the reason.
So you said you have validated on 9 SRS documents. So and you did that validation of conformant non-conformant requirements manually, right?
Yes.
So how much time did it require for doing the validation?
Manual creating the ground truth, right? You are talking about, right? So I think it is done in some way that first the student has done that, right? And then I and the student has done that, and then after that there is another author, right? He has again then reviewed, and then after that it has been discussed and then finalized. Okay. So maybe you can say it's a time-taking process, but once you establish these ground truth, then validation of the results is much more easy, right? So I cannot give you the right set of number into quantifiable form, right? That what is that, but it will take some time. Right?
So since anyway you have focused the NLP part of the to verify if it is conformant non-conformant, so would that have been automated, the validation part?
No, validation part can be automated at the later set of stages when we have this ground truth is already available. So on the basis of that we have augmented the data, right? So now we can consider that those kind of things as a ground truth. So if somebody has to use it, so they don't have to go through again the manual process, right? So those kind of data we will definitely make it public, right? That will be available.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Saurabh. So we are concluding the research tracks of ISEC 2024. Thank you all the participants and speakers. Thank you.